Hello and welcome to Looking Glass Letterbox. I am Erica and this is the general reading for Taurus, September 2019. Again, it is a general reading, so it may not connect or resonate for all of you out there, but hopefully there's something interesting or helpful or curious or beneficial in some way to take with you into Virgo season. We are coming out of August and Leo season, which for many of us was a time of sort of the crumbling away of old structures and systems and routines and relationships and connections of things that are no longer available to us to access, and space is opening up and energy is being made available to direct in other ways. So a lot of us are just been looking around and for inspiration, for potential, for, well, what do we do now? I can't do this anymore. What am I going to do now? I don't have this available to me anymore. What's going to, come in to fill up that space? And to make the most of that time, it is helpful for us to pay attention for what we want to engage with, for potential that we want to tap into, and not then allowing for things that we don't want to have any connection or interaction with to move in and fill up those spaces. So being curious and looking around for potential or inspiration and what's sparkling out there in the ether to be engaged with to carry forward next. This was a big shift in this past summer through Cancer season of a lot of cycles and systems and connections that have been in place for a long time have just been shut down and are no longer available to interact with. So a lot of us are at loose ends, and some of us unexpectedly so, some of us gratefully so. But in either case, we now have all of this time and space and energy to work with. So for Taurus, what some of you are going to be working with moving into Virgo season is taking what we've been inspired or interested by or see the potential in through Leo season, through that time of dynamic expansion and looking around for what to engage with. The things that we've chosen to be involved with, now the Virgo season comes in, and the structuring and the planning and the blueprinting and the actual creation from the inception of the idea and the potential into the actuality of manifesting it and starting to bring it into reality. That's what Virgo season is all about. So taking actionable steps and making solid plans and sort of looking into the details of making these things happen if you want to move forward in a proactive way, is what this next or what Virgo season is going to help us do. So for some of you, moving out of influence as we move out of Leo season at the end of the month is the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so some of you have already been investing in something and working to make something manifest, because Pentacles is earth energy, real time, real life, the stuff that you do to create your material reality. You've been lining up things, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, doing the things that need to be done in order to manifest. And with the Seven of Pentacles, it's one of two things, I think. You are either at a point of the yield or the return that you got on the investments that you have been involved with have either been disappointing or didn't work out, is one option. Or you thought that the payout that you would have received or arriving at the fruition of what you've invested in, you thought it would have happened by now. You didn't realize it was going to take longer, and it is going to take longer. And at this point, you either have to be patient and accept the disappointment or the loss of what you thought you were going to gain, or accept and be patient and allow the time and the space for it to grow to come to further fruition. So either way, you're at a space of being, well, what do I do now? And this time between, how do I carry forward from here? This either is not going to happen or it's going to take longer than I thought it would. I still have to do something right now to allow this to come to fruition, or to accept that it's a loss and move on from there. So coming into influence in Virgo season in September, you have the Emperor. It's taking the control, taking the command, making the decisive, taking the decisive actions and deciding, coming from this point of either disappointment or patience. Okay, what am I going to do outside of myself to maintain stability, to maintain actionability, to employ that divine masculine energy of the circumstances that I am involved in? Okay, so it's about you taking the helm and taking actionable steps to support your stability and to decide how you're going to move forward from the Seven of Pentacles space. And coming into activity at the end of Virgo season, going into Libra season, is the Eight of Swords. Okay, so the Eight of Swords is sort of you're standing still of your own volition. You're limiting yourself. So with the control that you have available, perhaps you don't know where to go from here. You don't know what to do from here, even though you're in the space of the Emperor. There may be a point at which your perception or your awareness of things, because swords are our thoughts and our intellectual understanding and conceptualization of the world that we are being active in. So something within this situation is sort of leaving you at a point of, I think, misunderstanding or not being aware of how to move forward, because you're not taking the time to consider your options, to look at the things that you feel are limiting you. None of these swords are limiting this butterfly from flying away. That's a butterfly. Those swords aren't a threat. They're a perceived threat. They can't actually hurt that butterfly. They can't actually hurt you. You can allow them to be a threat. You can be afraid of that they will. But if you take the time to really look at them and look at the circumstance and look at the possible outcomes and how you can move forward, and you untie your hands and you remove the blindfold and you become aware of the space that you're standing in, you can then navigate your way out of there to regain that control. So some kind of fear, may induce some kind of fear or perceived limitation upon the control that you think that you have. And it may be because you don't feel like you have an option. You don't think that there's an option to recover from the disappointment of this investment. Or if it wasn't a disappointment, you think that the only thing you can do is stand still and wait. That you don't have any other option. You can only wait for this to pay off. Or because it disappointed you and it didn't happen the way you thought it would, that you're never going to recover from that disappointment and the loss of that investment. And that's not the case. The Emperor is asking you to take control of the situation, see it as it is right now, and consider where potential still lies for further advancement. Looking around, looking at it from a new perspective, seeing it, asking a different question of a situation you thought you understood or you think you could understand. If you only thought that this could be one thing, if this was only invested as the outcome was going to be the resolution, and it didn't turn out that way, it wasn't enough, so you were disappointed that, okay, well, it didn't work out, so then that's ruined forever. Perhaps look at this investment and the point that it did come to fruition, what did develop from that investment. Consider those things as tools to move you further forward, as opposed to just a loss of everything. You know, if it's more time that is required in order for this investment to come to full fruition, consider what else can you do within that space of time. What else can you do until that comes to fruition? In the space between, what can you do to amplify it when it does come to fruition? What can you do to pair it with something else that's going to make it even stronger? So these thoughts here, these swords, these perceptions, these perceived threats or perceived understanding of a current situation that may bring you to a standstill in a point of repression or limited ability, or limited an understanding that what you are able to do is limited. Remember that no, it is not. You're in the space of the Emperor. You are in control of, you know, which way you're looking. You're in control of which questions you're asking. You're in control of who you're asking the question to. You're in control of the assets that you do have available to you, where those are invested, and where you want to direct those things. So towards the end of the month, when you do come to if you do come to this point of feeling stifled or come to a standstill because you're afraid you don't know which direction to take, consider what those swords, what you think those are, because you may be misunderstanding what the situation is or how to utilize the information that you do have available to you. And the only way that you're going to do that is when you decide to look around and to ask the questions and to see them through a different scope, through a different lens, through a different perspective, to carry you forward out of that that sort of self-imposed suspension. Okay, now we are going to, this is a situation that some of you may be dealing with in September, and that is the Hierophant. So a mentor, a leader, a school, an education system, someone in a position of knowledge or awareness or authority, that you are either holding that space or someone that you are involved in holds it. This is the card of Taurus, so this very well could be you. You know, so this is the Emperor here, so you could just be dealing with yourself, with your own perception and understanding of what you are capable of in the broad scope of existence, what you are actually capable of and what you feel limits you, and how you employ your investment into creating your life and what you want that life to be. Okay, so this could be a very broad scope of experience and influence, or it could be a particular situation. So it's going to be different for everyone. So within the space of the Hierophant, this may be a problem that the Taurus is dealing with, or if it's another Taurus that you're in contact with, and that is the Seven of Swords. Okay, so you may feel that you have been deceived or betrayed, that something was taken from you, or that you need to protect your assets and remove them from a scenario because you suspect that they are at risk. Okay, but there is some form of distrust here based on information and the perception and understanding of that information. Okay, there is a situation that is either misunderstood or you feel there is either a situation where you feel your intellectual property of your investment, your intellectual involvement, what you perceive to be possible, what you perceive to be able to be in control of, for some reason you feel that is at risk, that there is some sort of deception or betrayal that applies here. Okay, so you either feel like you need to pick up sticks and protect your assets, or you feel like because you feel that someone's going to try to steal them from you, or you feel like someone has already taken something from you. So either your understanding, because this is, again, it's swords, so it's in your thoughts and your perception and your story and your perspective, and your intellectual reckoning of what's happening in your life. Okay, and then within this problem, this is something that you can do to help to create resolution. And that is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is about understanding, providing, and nurturing security and your investments and it's earth energy. So again, it may be another Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. It could be another earth sign that can help you understand this situation, or that will provide you with the information that you don't have available to you to bring you out of this space of feeling limited and feeling restricted, to bring you out of this space of feeling threatened or feeling like you're being deceived. There's some sort of understanding and the maturity of that understanding of how to nurture and grow and provide security and abundance. There is some sort of grounded security that you need to seek out, and it's going to probably consulting a person to help you to review the information that you have available to you, to help you review the state of the investment that you've already made, and then how to exert your decision and your control to provide that stability, and to assess if that security or establishment or stability is in fact threatened. Okay, so seek out the information and the understanding that you need in order to release this restriction that's here with the Eight of Swords, and to either reveal the betrayal or deception that you feel applies here, or to reassure you that you have provided safety for your safety for your assets, or for those things that are important to you. Okay? All right. So we are going to go here to the what's the word I'm looking for? The Animal Spirit Oracle. And you've gotten the Hummingbird. Air, again, air in an earth sign. So this is again about your perception, about what you are perceiving, what you are seeing. The Hummingbird is a positive sign. Okay, so whatever this concern here is, it may not, be, you may not be, hiding in the closet out of fear, but it still may be something that bothers you, and you feel like you can't move forward, and you feel like you are in a heightened, like you need to protect yourself, or that something is at risk. The Hummingbird reminds you, with your perception, to remain positive. It's enthusiastic, and it's spiritually resourceful, which is going to be helpful in this Eight of Swords space. When it's in balance, it's smart and curious and loves to learn. When it's out of balance, it's pushy and insistent and sharp. So when you feel that imbalance, that pushiness, that insistence, that sharpness rise up, you want to take a class. You want to seek information and understanding. You want to seek mentorship or guidance in some arena to help you regain your state of stability and curiosity and interaction with those things that you want to understand and experience. So the way that the Hummingbird does this to remain positive and enthusiastic and resourceful is it's learned where to go to consistently re-nourish itself, to rejuvenate itself. It has tried and true areas or habits that replenish their system, that allow them to maintain their equilibrium and creativity and wellness overall. So that even when you're going through trials and tribulations of, deception or of restriction, whether it's self-imposed or whether it's from outside yourself, that equilibrium and that wellness and that consistently replenished state of being is going to allow you to be more resilient, to be able to navigate those situations more effectively. All right, and then your Enchanted map oracle is Solitude. Okay, Solitude. So with Solitude, again, it's about re-nourishing. It is Solitude quote is, I am comfortable in my own skin as I detach to replenish my soul. So this is about, it's a little bit, taking the time to find your own space and reconnect and empty your mind of superfluous thought and come back into a state of balance. This is being sort of frozen in fear because you're unwilling to consider those thoughts, to look at them, because they worry you or they produce some sort of anxiety, within you that you don't want to deal with for some reason, for some of you. The Solitude card is asking you, yes, to take a break, to take a moment of respite, and to allow stillness to flow through your being, and not push and force your way through the anxiety, force your way through the conflict, force your way through the situation, but allow things to unfold and allow things to be revealed to you in the situation through observation, through connection, through further learning. Okay, so and through the perspective, through the lens that you view those things. So you'll be surprised how many things sort themselves out, and how many of these swords will fall away and be removed, and how much of this investment will continue to grow and to flourish into something that you didn't even expect, if you just take the time to allow them to unfold, to allow the truth to be revealed, instead of feeling you're limited or repressed, instead of feeling like you're threatened by things that are happening. The Emperor it's also about holding that space of being in control of your response and your reaction. And when it's very sharp and based, a fear-based response, when you notice that happening, that's when you want to seek that solitude and consider, okay, I'm going to take a moment to breathe. I'm going to take a moment to relax. I'm going to take a moment to re-nourish and to replenish, and to consider, why am I afraid to look at this? Why am I afraid to consider this? Why am I so afraid that this didn't work out the way I thought that it would? Why do I think that that's a complete loss? All of that investment, you did invest it in something. It's not a complete loss. It may not have provided the result that you wanted, but sort of allow the time to consider these things and to appreciate them for what they did produce. To consider, why do I feel like I am threatened? Why do I feel like something's going to be taken to me? Consider, what is it that I'm doing in order to provide security and to provide abundance and to provide comfort in my life, in the material aspects of my life. And where can I seek further information, further knowledge, further understanding? Taking the time to consider all of those things in a quiet space where you're relaxed and being replenished and recovering is taking it time to allow the answers to those questions to be revealed to you, to be uncovered as the situation unfolds to a certain respect. Okay, so that you know where you are, so that you know where you stand, so that you know what the status of each situation is, and you have the information available to you, so that when it is time to take actionable decision, you are in a secure and stable place of knowledge and understanding to make the best one that's going to be the most efficient and most effective and most fulfilling for you moving into the future. Okay? This is The Universe Has Your Back, and that is, joy is the ultimate creator. Beautiful. I mean, within this, solitude and, divine masculine and Taurus energy and the conflict or the concerns that you have here. I mean, you got 2 7s and the 8. So you may be feeling like you're being pulled in different directions and it's a little chaotic around you, but remember to rejuvenate and tap into your positivity and your joy and allow that to infuse you with inspiration and the inception of new perspective and new idea and a new scope of intention to employ over the situation, and that is going to help to progress through those situations as well as you carry on. And then this is notes on connection from notes Notes from the universe on love and connection. Sorry. Sometimes the good is hidden. Okay? Find the good in what they said or asked. It's always there, even if they didn't mean for it to be there. Sherlockly yours, the universe. Clues for what you want are hidden all around you. Okay, so that's why take the time for solitude, take the time for replenishment, take the time to be patient and to consider these points of conflict, or points of, I don't want to say conflict necessarily, but points of concern, points of it looks like you're at a stage where navigating in the direction you thought you wanted to go is a little bit tricky. Like you have to come up, like a road that you thought was going to be open for you to travel down with this investment, that road is no longer there. You no longer have access to it. That road is closed, and you have to consider a new avenue to get to where it is that you would like to go. But there was only one road that you knew of, and that's the road that closed. So taking the time to consider a new avenue, a new route, a new blueprint of arriving at the space that you are trying to get to, it's going to take some time. That's maybe where this restriction is coming from. Your perception and your awareness of a path to that success, to that fulfillment that you thought was going to be open is not, and you don't know of any other way to get there. Take some time to relax and rejuvenate and to consider and to question and seek new information about, okay, well, that's the only avenue that I was aware of. But there's another way to get there. I just need to allow for the time and the space to uncover the route, or pave it yourself, pave your own way. And it may be more involved, it may be intimidating, but it's still an avenue that's available to you. The potential is still there, and it can be exciting and fulfilling and full of positivity and curiosity and joy, joyful creation. All right, but take the time to rejuvenate and to recover and to sit in stillness and allow those revelations to come to you, and to consider them with the Sherlockian brain, you know. Consider the questions that you didn't ask, or the way that the question is phrased, or the way that the answer is received, the way that you apply the response. Because, you know, whatever the answer for you is, whatever the information for you is, it may be hiding in plain sight. It's just you haven't recognized it yet. You need to take that time to allow your perception and your perspective and your awareness to adjust, in order for that to be revealed, in order for the way forward to be revealed to you. Okay. Wow, excellent, Taurus. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm sorry that the way forward, for whoever this is applying for, that the way you thought you were going to get there isn't there, but I mean, I think this is in service of the way that you're going to get there now is going to pay off in such a broader scope of fulfillment that you didn't know that it could be so good. Like, you may be disappointed at the point that it's at right now, but the point that you're going to eventually get to is going to be so far beyond the point that you were initially expecting. It's going to surprise you. Beautiful, wonderful, and excellent. All right, so I'm going to do one more card for you, Taurus, and this is your beautiful thought for the day. Just a happy little quote for you to take with you into September to consider when you need a beautiful thought to consider, you know, when that would be beneficial for you. All right, and you've gotten, today should always be our most wonderful day. Okay? And doing the things that need to be done and considering things in the way that they can be considered in order to allow that day to be the most wonderful day. Appreciate it for what it is. Don't worry about what it's not. You know, don't look at it and be disappointed by what the day is not, because that day is going to come at some other time. Today is the day that you have, and today is amazing because today is right now and you're here. Okay? Wonderful. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate that it is valuable. And thank you so much for your support and the likes and the shares and the subscriptions. If you are not subscribed, please click the button now and you'll be notified of when I have new videos available in the future. If you've liked this and enjoyed this, please click the like button. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a good September. Bye.